Okay, so everybody knows by now that the market got hit and hit broadly, not just space, but across the board. Today was not a good day for growth stocks, was it? Space got hit, AI, crypto stocks, defense stocks. If you looked, if you just looked at your portfolio this afternoon, you might have concluded, hey, something's seriously wrong with this market, but it's not. I don't think. And that's what I want to talk about today. I reviewed the biggest winners, biggest losers, major sectors, dozens, probably 350 potential picks for tomorrow. I think the market is sending a very specific message. And that message is not necessarily grab the popcorn and run for the exit. It's not saying that. I think it just said, I think it just said, let's take some money off the table. Let's take some money off the table. We've made incredible profits, right? Incredible profits. Let's take some of the money off the table. We'll keep playing, but let's just get some of this in our pocket. That's what the market did today. I think that's what it looks like. It felt a lot like broad profit taking. Rocket Lab dumped, Redwire, everybody knows. That's why I'm stinging right now because, I didn't do so well with the Redwire, and it was flying high, and I should have cashed out 2 or 3 days ago. I should have gone into the weekend in cash with Redwire, but no, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? Hindsight's 2020. ASTS Space Mobile fell hard, and a lot of AI and semiconductor stocks sold off as well. So even the market's strongest momentum names were under a lot of pressure. But here's what caught my eye. When I reviewed a large number of stocks and ETFs for tomorrow, doing research, I expected to see defensive names at the fore, utilities, consumer staples, bond funds, safe havens, safe places to park your cash. Instead, what did I see? I kept seeing AI, semiconductors, space, defense, technology. What does that mean? It means we just passed the hat and everybody put in some money, and now Joe and Bill are heading back to the liquor store to buy another keg. It means the party continues, right? It's right there. You know, I don't think this thing's over. I think the party's still going. I don't know what time it is, but I think the party's still going. I don't know if it's 2 a.m. or 11 p.m. I don't know, but party's still on. Party on, Garth, right? Party on, Wayne. It's still going. So I wouldn't really sweat it. In fact, tomorrow might be a really killer buying opportunity, and we'll get into that also. So I can't, I have no idea if tomorrow's going to be green. I don't know that. My magic 8 ball's out of commission. It does suggest that today's sell-off may have been a pullback inside of a larger trend, which can totally happen, huh? Think of that. A pullback inside of a larger trend. Even a long distance runner, you kind of slow down a little bit and catch your breath. Then, okay, catch your breath, get a shot of Gatorade, right? You're running a marathon, chug a lug Gatorade, hey, give me another Gatorade, okay? And I'm off again, but I needed that break. So, this could be a really great time to pick up some choice names. And I know people say that all the time, but that's what the arrows are indicating for tomorrow. So what am I watching? We'll start with large, medium, and small. If I had a large portfolio, which I don't, but if I had a large portfolio, here are the names that I would be keeping an eye on for tomorrow. Right off the bat, NVDA, right? I don't have to say another word. NVDA would be my top pick for tomorrow. Palantir, right, for tomorrow would be my top pick. Okay. Next, TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor for tomorrow. Okay. Next, Microsoft. Okay. Plus all the ETFs for these names too. But I'd be looking at the big boys, mañana. Totally. Next, if I had the cash, if I had the scratch, Micron, MU, you better believe it. Okay, so those are your top picks. If I had a large portfolio, la 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 la. Anyway, it's so once again, NVIDIA, Palantir, TSM, Microsoft, and Micron, MU, Micron Tech. Okay, if I was swinging for the fences, which, who knows, maybe someday, not going to be tomorrow. So if you got cash to spend, that's what I'd be taking a look at, definitely, in that order, right? If I had a medium-sized portfolio, I'd probably focus on Rocket Lab, right off the bat, space, satellites, defense systems, Redwire, okay, space, orbital infrastructure, okay, ASTS, these things are gold. Once they get going again, this is a buying opportunity for, remember, SpaceX coming up Friday, June 12th is the IPO, allegedly. Everybody's looking at that. So a week from this coming Friday is going to be the IPO. So consider the future, right? So if I had a medium-sized portfolio, I would focus on Rocket Lab, Redwire, ASTS, ARM, right? ARM Holdings, semiconductors, right? SMCI, Supermicro, right? Man, I remember it's been a while because I really don't go there much. Well, I haven't, but I remember making cash like 18 months ago. Like I remember like it was spring and it was Robinhood and Supermicro and go back and forth and just making bank on these things. But anyway, memories. So yeah, in that order, if I had a medium-sized portfolio, I would do personally Rocket Lab, Redwire, ASTS, ARM Holdings, ARM, like your ARM, SMCI, Supermicro. If I had and we'll do it again, medium-sized Rocket Lab, Redwire, ASTS, ARM, and SMCI, and if I had a smaller account and I wanted more speculation and potentially higher volatility, I'd be looking at RCAT, RCAT, RedCat for drones and defense. I'd be looking at Big Bear, believe it or not. Big Bear or whatever. I don't want to get into my opinion, but Big Bear, BBAI, artificial intelligence and defense analysis. And I'd be looking at SOUN, believe it or not, SoundHound, voice AI and conversational technology. And I'd be looking at, there's one called Quantum Corporation. It's QMCO, Quantum Corporation, QMCO. They do data storage, and AI infrastructure, QMCO. And I'd be looking at Peng, PENG, Peng. It's called Penguin Solutions. It's AI computing and memory solutions. Okay. So again, from the top, if I had a smaller account, minimal cash to lay out for tomorrow, I'd jump into RedCat, BBAI, Sound, QMCO, that's Quantum Corporation, QMCO, and Peng. But remember, you got to do your own research. This is not financial advice. I am not a pro. This is just what I've uncovered with my research. Okay. I'm just a working stiff, just like you, and I get 5 minutes. And so I flip on the lights and and record something and just send it out, scatter the seeds. I don't know. I mean, in a way, I mean, I think of it as like I'm trying to do a good deed. I'm trying to help other people. There's a book. It's A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles. Great book. If you can read it, it's great. Excellent. I think the first line in it, or in the first section, it says, the highest form of action you can take in life, the highest form of action is to be of assistance to another human being. Period. I read that sentence 25 years ago. I remember I was like floored by it. Like it hit me like a sledgehammer in the forehead. I'm like, man, right there. I don't know why that sentence resonated so much. So the highest form of action I can take is to be of assistance to my fellow human being. That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, why else would I put on lights and, you know what I mean? And write something and, anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be of assistance to people by just saying, this is what I'm looking at for tomorrow also. So from the top on the smaller accounts, RedCat, BBAI, Big Bear, Big Bar, SOUN for SoundHound, believe it or not. I mean, everything looked pretty cool. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really trade that thing, but everything was kind of pointing that maybe I should try, So I'll be looking at it mañana. And Quantum Corporation, QMCO, and Penguin Solutions. That's AI computing. So again, no recommendations. These are just names that stand out to me after today's market action. So a lot of investors, so just take a moment now. A lot of investors confuse profit taking with panic. Okay, they're not the same thing. Okay, I confuse it. I'm like, what's happening? Right? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? The party's not over yet. The party's just getting started. What do you mean what do you mean get out of my house? So sometimes a market, it'll sell off because investors suddenly become terrified. And over time, a market will sell off because investors have made a lot of money and decide to lock some of it in. And those are two very different situations. And today's market looked very much like profit taking, not panic. We'll see what tomorrow brings. But for now, I'm watching these names closely. So again, let's just wrap it up again. If I had a large portfolio, if I'm sitting on a stack of hundreds to play with, NVIDIA, Palantir, TSM, probably Avgo too. Anyway, Microsoft, Micron, definitely. Medium-sized portfolio, Rocket Lab, Redwire, ASTS, ARM Holdings, SMCI. And I don't know about you, but I do ETFs also all the time, just because it's just better, especially if you're in and out and you're not holding something. And if I had a smaller account, I'd look at RedCat, BBAI, Big Bear, SoundHound, QMCO, and Peng for Penguin Solutions. Okay, so we'll see what tomorrow brings. And do your own research. You didn't hear this from me, okay? This conversation never occurred. And I shall see you good people in the next video. And good luck tomorrow, and let's make some money, okay? I'm sick of losing money. That's why I wore black, too. I'm mourning my Redwire loss. I put the stop too low. It happens. All right. Take it easy. See you next time. Bye-bye.